Okay, so today's topic is very interesting. I'm gonna cut to the chase because I do have a doctor's appointment after this. But okay, so your retirement plan versus Atomy retirement plan. So sometimes I wonder, how would I have been preparing for the retirement if I have not had met Atomy? And it almost scares me when I think of that. So the reason why I really I chose this topic was because a lot of the people that I talk to, especially my age group or maybe a little older, they are so happy every time they open up a 401k account. And then they show me their 401k account and they show me the salary and say, wow, by the time I retire, I'll be 65 and I'll have this many, this much money in the account. And then I follow this gentleman who wrote a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then he wrote another book which I'm going to show you in a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to reduce this thing here. Okay. So who stole my pension? That's really interesting topic of the book, and what this author is saying throughout the book. And if you watch and follow Robert Kiyosaki closely, who wrote the book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's the only book that many of the people have read. But there are many other interesting books that I have read and followed this gentleman. It is estimated that there are over 50 million pensioners in the US and other countries, right, that are developed countries. And they're expected to have a big trouble, okay, because of the lack of the fund and mismanagement of the fund. Some of us are not as lucky to have the pension with the corporations because they stopped offering that. But there are a lot of people that have grandfathered in what's called pension. The pension still exists to people that are working for the government, such as military, maybe post office workers and things like that. So and then some of the union groups, they have a pension still. But what if the company goes out of business? Is it a guarantee that the company is going to stay here for another 30, 40 years? You cannot guarantee that. And what happened? What happened during the economic crisis in the US in 2009? There were plenty of people that have worked all their life to finally reach the age of 65, and they're ready to hang their coat and say, I'm going to retire, because they saw that their 401k account is really, really good. And the way they calculate is this. The way they calculate is, let's say this person has a $2 million in 401k account. What they're trying to do is they're estimating average increase of 7% interest rate, the 2 million. So without touching the principal, which is rate they're going to get. So their projection and plan is not to touch that $2 million that's already in the account. But because with that $2 million, the money continue to pay, right? Because of the interest rate the bank will pay you for having stocks and stuff like that in 401k portfolio. So they think that they can live off their whole life with 7% interest rate they get from about $2 million. Of course, more the merrier, right? But I haven't seen that many people that have $2 million in their 401k account either. He was one of the gentlemen that's been in the corporate America for a long time. And he told me he's going to have about $2 million by the time he retires. So he was really banking off on, Social Security and, 401k. But we've all experienced that in 2009, basically stock market crashed to more than half of what the principal balance was. So what do you think what would have happened? If you have $2 million and then you're going to live off the interest rate, but all of a sudden that account becomes $700,000, you're not going to be able to live off the 7% interest rate that you have had planned. So the pension, again, the corporate, they can only give it to you only if they have money, right? So we cannot really count on there being money for the company to give you. So what is going on in France right now? Have you all seen this? Because France as a country, right, they don't have enough money. So what happened was the government said, hey, I know the retirement age is 62, but sorry, we don't have money, so we're going to make you 64. So now the people that were really counting days to retire are now forced to go back to work for another 2 years. So let's put yourself into their shoes, right? You worked for 40 years. You're doing hard labor, building welding, and you're cleaning or whatever you're doing, because a lot of these unions are doing this construction work, and a lot of them are blue collar workers. And even if you're a white collar worker, it doesn't make anything different. So now you have to work 2 more extra years when you're supposed to be at the beach, enjoying your retirement. Do you think you're gonna be happy? You're not going to be happy. So you're gonna feel like they lied to you. You're gonna be losing the trust in the government. But do you think the government will care about your feelings? No, because they don't have money to give out, simply. So do you think that now the retirement age increase, and then because people's life expectancy has also increased to 100 years old, right? So then the government is already doing the math and saying, wow, like we're really gonna run out of money. And even in the United States, the Social Security benefits are going to decrease significantly, because my generation, I know baby boomers are retiring right now, and then they're probably the last ones to collect the Social Security benefit from the USA. The next generation after the baby boomers are Generation X, and then from there after that is millennials. Generation X may get some, but by the time my age group retire, it's gonna be significantly reduced amount. If not, I don't think I'm gonna be able to see my Social Security benefit. So it gives me more of a reason and motivation to build something systematically that's gonna pay me. I'm going to control my retirement. I'm not gonna let external factor that I cannot control take position of my retirement. I'm going to create a system that I know for sure will take care of me when I'm older, and then I can take care of my future generations. So here's my brother's testimony. My brother has been in the US Army for some years now, 14 years. He's 35 years old. So because he's the government employee who's gonna be earning the pension. Again, I talked about earlier, right? There's not a lot of pension nowadays because the corporation don't offer that. But let's say some of the people are counting on pension, or whether if it's 401k. I'm gonna give a little example. So, sorry. Okay, so he's 35 years old. He served in the 14 years, and then now he has 6 more years. He's counting days. Again, he's counting days to retire, so that after 20 years of service, where he had to deploy to dangerous areas such as Afghanistan and Iraq, his pension is going to be $2,300 a month. And again, he's been to wars and things like that. And so that's 20 years of you waking up at 5 a.m. every day, pulling the night shift guards, getting deployed to these unknown locations, being away from your family very often. So that retirement is $27,600 a year. And he's talked about it because he's saying, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make $2,300 a month without doing anything, and I'm gonna get another job that's gonna pay me, decently well with a government job. So he's already thinking of working again. And I said, okay, use your brain a little bit, because let's say you have 6 more years to go. Why don't you build Atomy business for another 6 years? Guess what? You're gonna be at least auto diamond, right? So if you become auto diamond, you're gonna be making at least $4,000 a month. So you have $2,300 a month plus $4,000. That's $6,300, dollars a month. So I think that's pretty good, right? Why would you be looking for another job when you can be retired with Atomy after 6 years? So that's some of the mindsets that we really need to work hard on changing to our partners. We have to put the numbers there. And that's why today I'm going to be giving you some numbers. So he's going to be receiving about $1.6 million for the next 59 years, assuming that he's going to live until 100 years old. Now, my testimony is this. I was a consumer of Atomy. I'm about 38 years old. And I became a consumer with Atomy first. And then all I did was changing the shopping mall. Since I love the product so much, I started sharing Atomy passionately and became an auto sales master to earn passive income of about $2,000 a month. Assuming that I will live until 100 years old, and if my Atomy business stay the same, here's how much I will be earning through Atomy pension with 3-generation inheritance. So now, if you can look at the number here, So I'm gonna have 1.49 million, and that's that's me being really conservative with the number because I make more than $2,000 a month. But just for the simplicity, and then some of the auto sales masters are making a little less than 2,000, some are making way more. So I just made it as a $2,000. So 100,000 a year. That's 1.49 million for the duration of the life that I'm gonna live until 100 years old, and I'm gonna be passing down to my son, who's second generation, for about 30 years because he's 30 years younger than me, and his child will receive another $2,000. So my math tells me it's gonna be about $2.93 million, which is close to $3 million. That's passive income, right? So obviously, the previous slide showed less than $2 million with my brother because the pension stops with my brother. It does not go to the second generation or third generation. So he lived the life of receiving the pension, but it did not pass on. But however, Atomy, if you become an auto sales master, it's gonna be paid out to 3 generations. It's gonna be $3 million. That's a lot of money. So let's think about auto diamond master, because do you think I'm just gonna stay as a auto sales master? No, right? So right now I've been doing diamond master here and there, but let's say it becomes very consistent diamond master, and assuming that I'm gonna live until 100 years old, that's 48,000. $3 million for 62 years more until I become 100, and I'll receive $6 million for 3 generations. Is that good money or bad money? That's really, really, really good money, considering the fact that, let's say you say, Israel, I'm going at a very slow pace right now, and it's just nearly impossible to even get to auto diamond master. So what are you talking about? So that's why you have to work hard, because you got to see this number. And every one of us here, I bet you, when you go to your work for your full-time job, I'm sure you're going to be working really hard, right, to not get fired, or you really want a job continuously being employed. So if we can work with Atomy, as much as time and effort and energy we put in for our full-time job, that's not going to guarantee us anything in the future. Why not focus more on Atomy? That's going to give you 3-generation inheritance. That's going to give you more assurance that you can control, right? Not having the government running out of money all of a sudden, or company going out of business. But do we think that Atomy is going to last a long time or not? We firmly believe, and I am so confident, that Atomy will be a 100-year company, if not more, because of the absolute quality and absolute price and the principle of the company. And we deal with daily necessities. So as long as the company continues to keep the promise of the principle-driven company, which I believe it will, and I'm very confident it will. So I rather put my faith in Atomy so much more than other corporations that are only solely profit-driven. I firmly believe that companies do not care about us. I firmly believe the companies that we work for, if you have a full-time job, I'm sorry to tell you, I'm going to break down the truth right here. You are just a number. Okay? I am just a number. You are just a number. As soon as the companies do not realize that you can add value, they're gonna say, hey, thank you for your service. Goodbye. That's what the company is gonna do. That's why, depending on the economy, they start doing layoffs, and they hire people. They do that very frequently because they want to make sure that their shareholders who invest into their stocks are happy with their number. Unfortunately, the Wall Street, they're so happy when the companies lay off people, because that means that's reduced expense. The biggest expense for the corporations are people, right? They need to pay the employees wages and salaries. So every time there is a layoff, the company's stock price will go up. Isn't that really sad truth? So that's the type of corporation we're working under. And yes, we have to be grateful for the job we have. I'm very grateful for that. But then we also have to consider and then look for our best interest, because they will not look for your best interest. And they're not gonna care if you have 3 babies to feed, and they're gonna say, sorry, we have to let you go. They don't care if you're sick. They don't care whatever it is. They will let you go as soon as they realize that they don't need you. So right now, is the opportunity for you to prepare that. Prepare for the rainy day now, not when you are getting rained on. Okay, you need to have an umbrella ready for the rainy day, not looking for umbrella when it starts raining and thunderstorming, right? So that's the power of Atomy. So my Atomy's pension, when you, I mean, I'm comparing to the pension my brother was gonna get for in this 1.6 million. So me as a auto sales master, $2,000 a month, 3 generation inheritance is close to 3 million, and with the auto diamond master, $6 million. So you can see how much of a difference you're gonna make when you stay with the Atomy, and you're not only taking care of your future, but you're also helping out your kids' future, right? And then to the uncertain economies, uncertain world. So that's what really grabbed my attention, because I was so confident of the longevity of this company compared to many other companies in corporate America. And also, I know that Atomy is not purely profit driven. Atomy started with the mission to spread the gospel, the word of God to the world, and that just culturally is different than other companies that are just solely profit driven. And you have to understand that that's huge. That's a huge difference. And we have to be grateful for CEO Hongyo Park to really cultivating that culture in us, so that we as leaders can also learn that and be inspired and then pass down to our partners. So currently we are in more than 25 countries, to include Korea. And through the UK and Germany website, we can register members to many different countries in Europe as well. And we're going to continue to grow. And then, the way we grow our business is this. You have to become an Atomy consumer, and then you have to ask yourself to change the market and do the same thing. Don't go straight talking about business unless you know from your experience this person, because through the experience of doing the business, you can kind of see that if this person wants to straight dive into the business aspect, or usually it's the consumer base that becomes a business leader. So for me, even too, right? I became a consumer first and became interested in the business, because you kind of start telling them little by little. After they you get the feedback that they love the products, then you start following through, so that you can create an auto consumer, loyal consumer, to help them receive commission, to having them attend the meetings and joining the system. So consumer to auto consumer to business member is the right method to go about, and how it's been working so well for me. And then because it's unlimited level and global, that's why I believe that this company has a longevity. And because we don't have a registration fee or auto ship, people don't just quit. I have so many partners that, have kind of give a business a try with Atomy, but they, kind of went away. But their account still is alive, right? Just because they went away doesn't mean their account is canceled or anything. So, and what is really amazing about Atomy is even if they left the company for whatever reason, they still shop. I was so stoked to and grateful to see that Atomy products are so good that they continue to shop. And because I have already taught them how to match points, at least 300,000, they understand that there's no other shopping mall that will give them $60 USD. So what they're going to do is they're going to continue to use their online website, you match the points, even just as an auto consumer. So guess what? If I have 50 households that are continuously shopping automatically, that's auto sales master. So you just have to focus on getting to that point. Then from there, you'll just keep building with your other business partners. And then I wanted to just show this slide, because how important is to become a sales master and auto sales master, because the half of the mastership bonus is paid out just to sales masters. And then semi-sales master is also important, because it is a bridge between being just a regular once in a while commission earner to the first step of receiving the bonus. So when me, Mike, and then many of the leaders, all the leaders here, when we started, there was no such thing as semi-sales master bonus. So this is a really, really, really positive thing that happened to our company, because that really helps driving the business for you. Because until a couple of years ago, even if you matched 1.5 million points each side, we only were entitled for general commission. Now you get extra $200 USD for achieving 1.5, 1.5. So that just makes your business that much easier. I will highly encourage you to really study and dive into how to become a net sales master, semi-sales, and then how to encourage your partners to become semi-sales. Because if you can promote one semi-sales master in each side, you're going to be sales master plus, because you're going to have at least 3 million points each side. So that's more than just being just barely meeting the sales master. So I think that's a really good thing to learn. And then so this is kind of like a example of how you can become a semi-sales, and then you can earn about $1,000 a month. So yeah, auto sales master is 2,000, but semi-sales is 1,000, and that's $12,000 a year. What shopping mall will give you that? I haven't seen Costco or Amazon giving you any type of paycheck like that. So always, I just wanted to hammer in that focus on becoming a semi-sales master, do it repeatedly so that you can get to sales master, so that you can see that pension that you saw. Let's skip through. And if you calculate all the promotion bonus, that includes cash, because starting from the Diamond Master, you start getting cash, right, as a one-time bonus plus products, right? And starting from SRM Master, you get to go to a cruise. When you become a SRM Master, and then the company gives you the cruise trip, I don't even remember how many network marketing companies they do all these slides, all these presentations, and then they say you can go here, you can go to Cancun, they're gonna send you here, Bahamas, whatever, when you achieve this level. I have never even dreamed of achieving that. But Atomy, it was possible. And I did qualify to go to Cancun with all-inclusive deal when I became a SRM master. And that was just a sign of just acknowledging, and being reassured that this business is the true business that can help anyone and everyone to succeed. So, Mike is wearing the Auto Sales Mastership Club badge, and we all have it. That's when you achieve sales master 12 times. But again, focus on becoming a auto semi-sales master first, and then build a consumer base so that you don't have to just keep putting in money. If you're just flooding the inventory and just buying so much, getting pressure by your senior leaders and sponsors saying, you got to keep challenging, and you're like, I ran out of customers, right? I think we all kind of go through that battle, right? We all go through that struggle because your sponsors kind of have a goal, and then you also want to do it, but sometimes you don't have enough consumers. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I'm spending too much money or whatever. That's why semi-sales mastery is so important, because that will allow you to build auto consumers. And from your auto consumers, then with your business mindset, you can kind of fill the gap. If you're really trying not to spend a dime and just doing purely with the auto consumer, good luck with you, because it's going to be nearly impossible for you to keep advancing. This is also a business. It does require some investment, but it should not be gambling. It should be calculated risk, because every business has some type of risk. And when you're challenging, you have to really struggle. You have to be really struggling, because challenge is not supposed to be easy. If it's easy, it's not a challenge. So make sure you stay in the system, and have your partners really participate with you, and through that continue to build your system so that you can have the Atomy pension that we all want.
구독, 좋아요 눌러주세요.